Hello guys, thank you for tuning into my channel. In this video, I'm going to uh, be a video response to a group of young adults that are very smart. I have a lot of respect for them. So before I even say their name, or even the purpose of this video, I want to strongly tell you guys, please do not go to their channel and hate on them or troll them in any way. This is not a video uh, to call them stupid or anything. They give a lot of good videos, high quality videos, better than my videos because they edit their videos. I just pretty much sit in front of the camera and talk away. Um, so, they even have a Patreon, and hell, if I'm feeling froggy, I might even donate to them. Okay, they're not a bad group. They focus on debunking religious and spiritual claims. They are now they're they're atheists. Matter of fact, the name of the channel is called the Milwaukee Atheists. They have a pretty good following. Again, this is not to slam on them. They talk why they don't believe in religious claims or various religions. I have the right to point out why I think they are wrong on certain things. But again, please don't go over that channel and troll on them or anything like that. I have a deep respect. Matter of fact, their kind of channel helps fight religious dogma. Yeah, we agree 99% of the time. We probably won't agree 100% on this topic, but so the fuck what? They do great videos. I'm just telling how I feel because I know about this subject. Now, I was going to play segments of their video, um, but their video is almost an hour long. It's like 50 something minutes long, and I'll go into why it's 50 something minutes long and why it's just go watch it on their channel. I don't want this to be a video that's overly long, maybe hopefully 20 minutes. Anyway, so here we go. Okay, female Milwaukee atheist. They did a video called "Can an Atheist Summon a Demon?" First of all, the definition of atheism, if you don't know, is just they lack the belief in a God. Period. That's it. There are atheists that believe in magic. There are atheists like my nephew, who is an atheist, and his wife are atheists, but they believe in ghosts. I know some atheists that believe in spiritual stuff, but that doesn't mean anything. Okay, the definition of an atheist is they just don't believe that a God or / intelligence, ultimate intelligence, exists. They might be more more skeptical than those atheists, because atheists tend not to believe in a God because they're so skeptical. So they usually don't believe in other things such as UFOs, cryptoids, cryptozoology, whatever, spirits. The Milwaukee Atheists do not believe in demons. Okay, they do not believe in spirits. They believe, as far as I can tell, sorry if I say this wrong, but I believe that they believe that when you die, that's it. Just like many atheists do. They don't believe in an afterlife either. But again, that doesn't matter if they do or don't, because they can believe in a ghost and still be an atheist. They just can't believe in a God and be an atheist. That's a definition of an atheist. They don't believe in a God or God claims. So, moving forward, they do a great job. They spend a lot of time creating the triangle of the art, having the circle of protection. They even do the hack that people do. A lot of in the past, a lot of people would that I would talk to say, "Yes, I spend hours drawing the circles on the ground." Most people take a gigantic blanket, or sheet, and they draw it on, and then whenever they perform their rituals, roll it out. So the symbols are already there. Now they still cast a circle. It's important you understand that. The symbols that are drawn onto that circle, or within the circle, and the God names and the whole 9 yards, okay, help bring energy into the ritual. Okay, you still have to cast the circle. It doesn't look like they did that. They just had the thing on the ground with the circle. done with the triangle of the art and done with the ceremonial names within the circle for protection. You still have to cast a circle. You just don't roll it out and say done. Again, it does look like that's what they did. Um, that's not the major critique. So they have it spot on. They're like, hey, I like your robe. They're wearing a ceremonial robe for their magic. And he correctly says this is to help tell the mind or to get your mind into a certain set that magic's about to happen. This is the reason, or creating an atmosphere. This is right there's the key. It's all psychological. They're changing, when you're summoning a spirit, you are changing the psychological perception of you, the magician. Otherwise, you're not going to see the spirit. Okay? So they're spot on. But see, here's the thing. They don't believe it's going to happen. They don't believe in the spirits. So they have, before they even did the ritual, they have already decided that it's not going to work. So they will never make that shift in consciousness in the first place. This is one of the things that infuriate these kind of skeptical atheists, because they're like, well, you've got to believe. And the argument is you can't choose what you believe. And you can't. You either believe something or you don't. Now, you can influence your beliefs by looking at evidence or things that will help convince you. But if you don't believe, you just don't believe. You can't pretend that you believe. You can't really fake it till you make it. Either you do or you don't. Now, you can maybe they might learn later on or will believe later on, depending on what they're supposed to. So, which is a valid argument. However, most of the people trying to summon spirits believe in spirits to begin with. So the psychology is up to that door, and the brain is still open. It's already shut down for them. Okay. And again, this is something that's like, well, that's convenient. That's a convenient thing. But yes, that's the whole thing. The problem when summoning spirits or almost anything in magic, it's a likened to riding a bike when you've never ridden a bike. Okay. You get on the bike, you fall down. You hear stories about people getting on that bike and moving forward. But because every time you get on that bike, it don't work for you, what's to stop you from believing that the bike was just created by somebody who believes it's possible but has never really ridden that bike? Okay. Just because it doesn't happen the first time or 100 times doesn't mean that you can't summon a spirit. But when atheists do these kind of experiments with supernatural claims, if they don't get a result, it's proof, 100% proof, that you can't ride that bike. A better example, in my opinion, would be calling someone's phone. You can call their phone 100 times, but they might only answer that one time after you hang up. That just because they never answered the 10 times you called doesn't mean they gave you the wrong number. All right. So when you're dealing with human experiences, you cannot be that absolute. You just can't. You can't quantify a human experience, because even though we have a baseline of human behavior, we do not have a absolute. You cannot predict what a human's going to see, feel when they're exposed to something. You just not. You can guess, but it's not going to be consistent. So if you're looking for consistency, you're never going to get it in this subject, because no one's spells turn out 100% all the time, every time. And if they do, they're probably aligned. Now, again, I could be wrong. There could be some spiritual monsters out there that do it every time and get a result, but that's not the going experience. So it's hard for me to agree with that, because I've never seen it or experienced it. Now, they do the rituals. They have the candles burning. I think they have that incense. I see some smoke in that video. And he does the Bornless One ritual. Now, the Bornless One ritual is customary. Most people who are summoning spirits for the first time or learning about it are usually scared to try to make their own incantations and their own evocations, the whole 9 yards, because the system's in the book for a reason, because it worked, and it worked for many people. So they stick with it, because if they change it, they don't know what they're changing and what could be changed to be done wrong. But again, so he recites the Bornless ritual. Now, what it does look like they're doing is something that's usually called a proxy evocation. Basically, because the borderless ritual is quite long, and then the incantations to the spirit about your authority, commanding it to come, and if it doesn't come, you have a bunch of other incantations that you basically, which is one reason why their video is so long, is because if the spirit don't appear the first time around, you have to go to plan B and start saying other evocations, even threatening the spirit in the name of God that rules over it, or its king, or its ruler. Okay, so or even threatening to bind it and stuff like that, to force it to come. And you're supposed to do that over and over until the spirit appears. So that's one reason why. It's because they keep on repeating that loop. Nothing happening. Now, so anyways, the proxy, it's so hard to look and read and then look in the scrying mirror, because if you've ever been scrying, if you look away, your brain and your mind has to reset. You got to focus on reading, then look up. No. So unless you memorize these incantations, it's very hard to summon a spirit, because you're having to look up. So they have a person, a proxy, doing the scrying, where you are doing the evocation. So you're summoning the spirit and somebody else is scrying so the spirit can appear. This is called a proxy summoning, or other names. That's just what I've called it, and what it's been called, because that's what it is. You have two people, you're doing the summoning, and a person is doing the meditation to see the spirit. Hold on, I need to take a breath. Okay, I'm back now. So in the video, the guy is on multiple occasions says, "Hey, do you see anything?" And the guy goes, "Well, it looks like I started frowning." So the guy looking into the scrying mirror, it looks like his astral eyes was opening, which usually start when your actual eyes start opening. It's because your eyes are beginning to lose focus, and your brain is like saying, "Okay, this goes where, this goes there," and it creates a new image. Okay, this is a well-documented non-supernatural explanation of why you look in the mirror and you see something that's not supposed to be there, or isn't how it looks. This is also, surprise, how scrying works. When you see spirits, your face, or even if you don't see your face, a face will appear. But before it appears, your eyes begin to lose focus a little bit. It becomes cloudy, and you start seeing specks of lights, which means your astral eyes are opening. And then, if you can maintain that, then you start seeing the spirits or whatever in the mirror. Okay, if you're summoning a spirit or not. So, just like a non-trained person who scries, this is also important. If you plan on guaranteeing, now you can look into a mirror passing and see something in the mirror that you didn't expect or summon. Or you see whatever ghost or spirit in the mirror. But when you're learning to scry, to where you see it, regardless if it's by accident or not, you're doing it to see it. You have to train yourself. You have to learn yourself. And I'm sorry, as atheists that don't even believe in the supernatural, I doubt very highly that they have developed their astral senses of clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance. I just I don't see that. So he would be at best an amateur, and at more realistically, just somebody who's just doing this for the first time, not even an amateur. Okay, so there's a lot of things wrong with this aspect. They've already shut that door of shifting the consciousness into another reality to make it possible. They've already shut that shit down, and it's like, I did it. It didn't work. Therefore, it doesn't work. That shitty logic, dude. I'm sorry, but it is. It just is. I mean, anybody can do anything. How many times, well, as a kid, I mean, I always heard that people can do awesome things on trampolines, and I never seen it happen. I heard it. I jumped, did 3 backflips, and then jumped again. When I try to do it, I busted my ass, cracked my skull open. I didn't think that it was. I mean, and I know the argument. Well, this is something physical, and you're trying to compare it to something spiritual. Therefore, it's not the same. But it is, because let me tell you something. Witches believe as above as below. So things above or in the other realm reflects, isn't necessarily dominated by, but it definitely reflects by the physical realm. Okay, thousands of years ago, when people seen angels carrying scrolls or tablets or books, that's fine. Written print. I guarantee you, people have near death experiences, and you have angels walking around with fucking iPhones or some shit. Okay, because the spiritual reality will reflect to much degree the physical world. It might not be ruled by the physical world, but it definitely is a reflection. Why? Because you lived in it, you've experiencing the physical world. Therefore, your limits about what can happen and cannot happen are kind of rigid. So when you die and cross over, you're not like flying around with the gods automatically. You're still wearing clothes. You're not just big orb of glowing supernatural all powerful golden white light. You're you. You when you die, you still probably have some of the addictions. You still, well, that a lot of, if you crossed over, you probably still have a lot of anger issues about what happened in your previous life. You're still attached. All right. So yes, the next realm has a lot to reflect from this realm because you've learned everything you need to learn about this world with your five senses, and that's what you expect. So when you die and cross over, it's not all flying horses or, pure white light and I am everything, I know all things. No, you're still you, which is one of the sad things about suicide, for example, because people kill themselves because they're depressed. The only thing you take with you, dude, is your experiences and your knowledge now. So if you're depressed right now and you blew your brains out, guess what? When you cross over, you're still got that emotional mental baggage. Now, this has something to do with your video. I'm just basically using this as an example, as above, as below, until you get higher and create your own reality. But you expected it to fail, and yet it did, and it probably will. You probably do this 1,000 times. You could be a believer and do it thousands of times and get one result out of the thousand. You have to believe. You have to have the ability to shift your mind from one state of consciousness to the next. And you guys definitely didn't do that. And I know this seems like a weak position, but it is what it is. If I was to make the claim of something called supernatural naturalism, atheists hate that shit because it's untestable. If I claim something, they say if the supernatural exists and it can change the physical world, there has to be some kind of connection. The argument a long time ago, I forgot the philosopher's name, is that if the soul exists, how does it move the body? And if we cut this nerve, you can no longer move the arm. This argument. So how does it move the body? Through natural means. Supernatural naturalism states that the supernatural is a construct because it's something that we see as not natural, but it will manifest in our life through natural means. If I cast a spell for prosperity, a leprechaun does not show up on my front doorstep handing me a pot of gold. All right, that means that I will find money along the road. I'll get a raise. I might get a better job offer. At worst, somebody might die in the family and leave me an inheritance. But every single time the magic manifests, it's going to manifest in a natural state. And because it comes in a natural state, you can't scientifically disprove or prove it happened anyway except through the natural state. So you can't really disprove or prove the supernatural, regardless of what a lot of people like that avocado dumbass that is like all about healing. He makes a healing claim about a certain herb that you could scientifically prove that. Oh no, this isn't not scientific because it's directly affected the body. Okay, this is you can scientifically prove aspirin affects the body, but you can't scientifically prove that aspirin affects the spirit. Okay, that's with human experience, and everybody else is different because to some degree, everybody creates their own reality, even in this world. So your reality is not. You're basically using your experience in your video to prove other people that it can't exist. But at the same time, you use that same logic about Christians, saying that your experiences of, say, your Jesus is not proof that your Jesus is real. That's true. You're 100% spot on. But in these kind of scenarios, that logic, it's like you pretend it don't apply to you. You're like, see, we did this, the ritual, the spirit did not come, it didn't show up. Therefore, it's proof that this is hokum. This is woo. Why is it that you could use that logic to disprove somebody else's belief, but you use that logic to validate yours and try to propagate it? Because people who are also skeptical atheists are going to watch your video and want to believe and validate their opinion too. Just like a religious person will listen to whatever religion they are and talk about their miracles and what happens in their personal life and validate their religion. You're doing the same thing, only without the religion. It's the same line of logic. And it's like, it's not the same line of logic because one's religion, one isn't. You're trying to do scientifically prove something that lies within the realm of the human experience. And again, you can use science to quantify what could possibly happen, but you cannot quantify the human experience and get it down pat to where every human, you'll know what they're thinking, because there's always going to have that anomaly. There's always going to be that one group of people that think outside the box. And just like a lot of criminals, they get caught because they make the same mistakes. They go back to the scene of the crime, or they steal from somebody who they know. It's predictable behavior. Okay, there's going to be people that believe in a god or goddess, and they're just not going to believe like other religious people. Not, you can't quantify a religious experience. Why do people try? And then when they do try and they don't get that same result, they say, well, this is proof that they were wrong. You can't use inductive reasoning in science, and you're using a science experiment by performing the ritual, but inferring that it don't work through inductive reasoning, even though you're saying it's no, because hey, we did the ritual. But again, 1 + 1 is 2, but in the spiritual world where people create their own experiences, not everybody's going to walk outside and enjoy the sunny day. Some people hate sunny days. Some people prefer the night. Just because the most people like the warmth of the sun doesn't mean everybody's going to enjoy a hot summer day. It just isn't going to happen. And that's the kind of logic you're using in these videos, is that the majority of the time, or the majority of the people that do this get no result. Therefore, it's proof it don't work. And that's just not true, because it's worked for me. But I can't use that as scientific evidence because it's my personal experience. But you can use your personal experience as scientific evidence because it didn't happen. It's mental gymnastics. Anyways, I'm going to link to the video. Again, nobody go from my channel over there. I'm not trying to start a war with these people. These people are smart, and I respect them. So please don't troll them. Yeah, okay. Even if they do a response to my video, which whatever, help out my views. That's fine. That's not why I'm doing this. But I practice spirit summoning, and I still don't get successes, and I'm relatively good at it. I get more hits than I do misses. You're an amateur, you're going to get 100% misses. That doesn't mean that me or somebody else don't. So, anyways, I did enjoy your video. And if you want to watch the video, my viewers watch their video, because they're spot on with most of it. And again, some of the things that I didn't really see them do was banishing energy. They're supposed to close the ritual, then banish the energy. Don't really see them opening the circle. It's just like, hey, this is the triangle of the art. This is where the spirit's supposed to appear. They don't tell why it was. What's this magic symbolism? Because but they are spot on about various other things, such as the atmosphere is supposed to help tell your brain that it's time to move from one perspective to another. But again, they don't. These are, again, people who have never probably sat down and scryed and became proficient at it. Now they're trying to see a spirit when they haven't even developed the proper meditations. So thank you for watching my rant. And this is a to the Milwaukee Atheists on can you summon a spirit? Oh, by the way, guys, I fully acknowledge there's also a third part. There's a third possibility, and it's probably a real possibility. Who knows? Every spiritual experience can be a self-induced hallucination. All the spirits I've ever seen or anybody else has seen could have been a brain anomaly, because in the end, we can't really scientifically prove certain claims. You just can't. It's what's called as non-falsifiable, and these claims are useless to skeptical atheists or skeptics in general, because if something is non-falsifiable, which means you have a position that cannot be verified or disproven, these claims are useless because it can't be proven, and skeptics are looking for something to be proven or disproven, so they have to go upon their own experiences on something that's proven or disproven. But notice this: they do the experiment on something that's non-falsifiable. They don't get the result they want, and they say it's falsifiable because it didn't happen or the claim wasn't validated. It's still a form of inductive reasoning, regardless if it's the ultimate end is believing in a spirit or afterlife or whatever, or not believing in anything. It's still inductive reasoning. So that's why they don't like non-falsifiable claims, because there's nothing they can do to disprove it or prove it. So, and they only want to focus on things that are provable. But what if, let's just say what if, that's how the supernatural really does manifest, through natural means, which every witch that I've ever met worth their weight in salt believe that. And they believe their magic works through their personal experience. So it's inductive reasoning or inductive evidence that helps validate the individual to believe in magic. And again, what if magic? That's how magic manifests. It's not good enough for you, but that's just how it is. So I would say focus on things that religious claims that make people do stuff that are completely stupid, such as the people in Africa eating grass to prove they believe in God, or the people that are willing to kill themselves because some jackass says that a UFO behind some comet is going to take them. Yeah, might be some pretty bad people who believe that I'm going to summon this demon to try to fuck with someone's life. That's pretty stupid. But if you're right, and it's not real, then no harm done. They just wasted their time, but they feel better because they think they accomplished something. All right, so these kind of supernatural claims about if ghosts exist, if demons exist, it's totally irrelevant, except for when it makes somebody do stupid things, such as kill their children because they're demonically possessed. In that case, that person is so fucking crazy, they're probably going to do whatever they want to do and find something else to validate. I'm sure there's people out there who believe in evolution and have believed in evolution. And because they believe in evolution, they have a twisted understanding of it. So they think, well, we're better than this person or this race. We're better than the animals because we evolved in a certain way. If someone wants to hate or do something stupid, they'll justify it with or without religion. So to me, if somebody believes in a spiritual claim and it benefits them, well, why the fuck not? Let them believe it. Just because it might irritate you, don't mean nothing. You don't base your atheism on other people's opinions. They're not going to base their religious opinions based on yours, if they're a true believer, anyway. So thank you for all the other stuff you have done, because people, like in your Bible studies, for example, people who don't believe learn why they shouldn't believe, and I commend you for that. And if people look at your video and say, well, I don't believe in summoning spirits now, well, more power to them. It's not going to change my belief. It's not going to change anybody else's belief who's experienced it. I might be 100% crazy, but guess what? I have no other choice but to believe what I have seen and experienced. Nobody else does either. If they've seen something, they'll never want to stop believing it. And then if they think they see it only because they're crazy, well, again, nothing's going to happen in their life about that they've seen that's going to really change their life. As long as they're seeking help, they're not going to harm themselves or harm somebody else. We need to. I think we should move to that part. It doesn't matter what people believe. We need to stop the dogma and say, well, because there are people. Yeah, you guys are right in your other videos. There are people, and I've seen them online, ask stupid shit like, "Can I have a spell that does this?" And they have these unrealistic expectations. And there are people like, "You have to be an expert magician to do this." No, motherfucker. If you cast a spell to fly and you jump off your house, you're going to have a bad fucking day. Magic don't work that way. And we need to come to a way, both believers and non-believers, such as us. We need to come to a place where we can argue that it's okay to have these beliefs, but it's not okay to do certain things with them. And I believe that right there will be the vaccine that will stop people from doing stupid shit because they believe it. Anyways, thank you for watching it. Y'all take care.